What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So special video today, as you can see. I'm over at Steve's house again, Fragrance Fanatic, and we're going to be covering 10 classic summer fragrances. Fragrances from yesteryear, 10 years and older. Stuff that not a lot of people really look at anymore. Stay tuned. So before we get jumping right off into it, guys, I need you to do me a real quick favor. Down in the description below, there's a link to Steve's channel. Do me a real quick favor, go jump over there, check out one of his videos, subscribe if you like what you see, then come on back and we'll talk about some fragrances. So starting off with the first one, in a video like this, you kind of have to go with a tried and true fragrance, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
There's one that's undeniable. It's the highest selling fragrance of all time, for men at least. It's from Giorgio Armani. Acqua di Gio. There's no denying the impact of this fragrance. It's spawned many flankers. We'll both be able to smell that. It's
so good.
Classic DNA.
Yes.
It's been around for, shoot, what year in the 90s did this come out? 95?
Maybe. I don't know the exact year, but it's been around since I've been a kid.
Same.
It's amazing. It smells.
Your dad, your uncle, and probably your grandpa wear this fragrance still to this day. But for the masses, it's still popular. People still love it. It still works even to this day. Even though for guys like me, him, and maybe you, this can be a little played out, I still show respect where it's due. And it's hard not to show respect to a fragrance such as Acqua di Gio from Giorgio Armani, the original king.
The second on the list is one that I've had in my collection for quite some time. I've used, I don't know how many bottles in my journey of this one. It's cheap. It does have some lacking in the performance, but as me and Ross have completely agreed, this is a really good one that not a lot of people talk about. This one is Kenneth Cole Reaction.
Well, sorry for the glare, guys. The ring light's a little on the bright side.
As you guys can see, I have used quite a bit of this bottle. This one's just nearing the end of its life.
Yeah, there's a huge dent.
But such an amazing fragrance. It's got citrus. It's got this irresistible melon note that I just find so attractive. And it's really, in my opinion, it's unlike anything fresh that I've smelled. It has some similarities, but it's not necessarily a copy of anything else.
Makes sense.
You know, it just kind of maintains its own DNA. But unfortunately, like I said, the performance is a bit lacking. I only get about 4 to 5 of longevity with this one. Sometimes 1.5 on the projection. But a solid summertime fragrance. I was telling Ross before we did the video, I actually wore this fragrance for probably weeks at a time. When I was working my jobs with the highway patrol, I would wear it a week at a time, just continuously through different months through the summer. Mm-hmm. It is a compliment grabber, in my opinion. I have got compliments from it, but again, if you want to continuously smell it through the day, you probably might need to reapply it.
Well, if one thing I can add, 4 to 5 hours is kind of standard fare for a cheap freshie.
Right.
You can get a bottle like that around 20 bucks. I always see them at the rack stores. Don't sleep on that one. If you're looking for a really good melon, fresh aquatic, it's cheap, Kenneth Cole Reaction. Good stuff. Next, another one. It's a classic. I immediately think of junior high and high school when I smell this fragrance. It's from Zaharoff. It's the original Chrome. Get it to focus. There we go. Another one. It just does the trick. That sharp, metallic, fruity citrus. It's been around for a long time. You can get a big bottle, a 100 ml, for 20 bucks. I think I paid like 12 for this 1 ounce.
Yep.
They're easy to get. They're cheap. They're versatile. They just work. It's a little more on the youthful side for today's standards. It doesn't have Ambroxan and all these different modern synthetics. But there's no denying the impact that Chrome has had. This is the original for the house. This is probably Zaharoff's most popular, highest selling fragrance besides the original Pour Homme. You just can't go wrong with the Zaharoff Chrome.
I use it all the time.
It spawned a ton of flankers. Get yourself a bottle and do yourself a favor. And that's a Zaharoff Chrome.
Number 3 on the list is one that doesn't get a lot of hype, doesn't get a whole lot of talk in the community, but it's one I love, one that Ross talks about, and then one that also Justin from Stay Fresh talks about quite a bit.
Shout out to JC.
This one is called Burberry Touch.
Such a good fragrance.
This is a bit on the masculine side. It still holds that true, like, fresh, clean, crisp, fresh out the shower DNA that you can expect or that you want for a summertime fragrance. We'll spray it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I always love smelling this one. You ain't hurting my feelings.
As me and Ross talked about, this one, I absolutely love the 30 ml bottles. They're, you know, kind of cute, but they fit they fit very well in my collection, so I have always repurchased 30 ml bottles. But this one's just so good. It's got this beautiful top note of some violet leaf. It's got some mandarin in it. It's got, I believe it's got some musk in the base of this.
Yep.
And it just has this really masculine undertone that you really don't expect for a summertime fragrance. And the performance really is not that bad for EDT concentration.
I get between 7 and 8 hours personally.
Yeah. And that's, my skin's pretty dry, and I get just about 7, to be honest with you, 1 to 2 on the projection, easy, all day, every day. But a solid fragrance, very inexpensive. One, if you have not checked out, I would highly encourage it. But again, this one is called Burberry Touch.
Next, another one that's kind of a summer staple. It's been through many formulations.
Yes.
Some batches perform, some batches don't. I've heard tons of different things from people in the comments over the time of this channel. It works. It's one of the most versatile, safe fragrances that you can wear to work, especially in the heat. Versace Pour Homme, also known as Versace Signature. This is a favorite among a lot of people. This was actually on one of my summer lists as well, and it's making this list as well because it's kind of a must-have, really and truly. It smells great in here, guys. Y'all have no idea with all these sprays.
That citrus is so good.
Soapy, neroli, citrus heavy. This is a must-have for anybody starting a collection.
Yes.
Or if you had it before and it's been a few years and it's just something worth revisiting, in my opinion, if you haven't had it in a while. You can have them for a pretty good price. They're not expensive. They're not going to break the bank. They're decent performers. 6-hour-ish range.
Yep.
It's about what I get every time. Very pleasant. Very compliment getting. It's not going to fill a room or anything, but when people do smell you, they're going to think you smell fresh and clean. Versace Pour Homme. It's a summer staple, a must-have, and in my opinion, timeless classic.
Yes, I completely agree with you. The next one on the list is one that I have had in my collection for quite some time. This one is called Lacoste Essential Sport. This one, if you're looking for a summertime fragrance, something that's fresh, it's clean, it's fresh out the shower, it's not going to hurt your pockets, this one is one you need to get your hands on.
So, I actually sprayed this one on my hand. I have something in my collection that smells exactly like this, and for the life of me, we're not at my house, so I can't just go run grab and figure out what it is, but this is identical to something I have. Actually, it just dawned on me, Nautical Voyage Sport.
Okay.
This smells like Nautical Voyage Sport.
It is very similar. You're right.
It just hit me.
You are absolutely correct.
Before we started this video, I could not wrap my head around what it was, and while we're recording now, it hits me. So, Lacoste Essential Sport or Nautical Voyage Sport. They're about the same price and they smell the same. Either one, y'all know how, fans of the channel, you know how much I love Nautical Voyage Sport. That's why it was so familiar. Great fragrance, generic,
yep,
cheap, fresh, clean, soapy shower gel.
Yep.
Hard to beat.
Absolutely. And just to finalize the touch on this one, if you like that type of shower gel smell, you know, that citrus aquatic vibe that some of these shower gels have, this is a good one. Performance isn't too bad. You can pick it up pretty much at any discounted retailer. You'll find them by the dozen. But I encourage you to check it out. This one's a great one for summer. Lacoste Essential Sport.
Next, this is actually a foundational fragrance for me. This fragrance really changed the game for how I viewed fragrances, and the depth of my love started to grow for them. This is from Dolce & Gabbana. This is the original light blue. This is the second bottle I've ever had, another small bottle, a little 40 ml. You guys have seen me talk about it a few times on the channel. Extremely compliment getting fragrance. Women love the way this one smells. This is why a lot of people still buy this one to this day. Yes, the O Intense is saltier, it's stronger, it performs a lot better. But in my opinion, this one smells better.
Yeah.
Just because the Intense is so great doesn't mean this one needs to be overlooked, in my opinion. This is such a great smell. Yeah, it's only going to give you a few hours nowadays because it's watered down so much. But for me, you just spray it heavy and spray it when you need to spray it and have a good old time, because I think it still smells great. You can still get these really cheap. This 40 ml like this, I think, was around 20 bucks. You can get a 125 ml in the 30 some odd dollar range. So it's pretty much a cheapie at this stage, but it's a classic among fresh fragrances. Yeah. It's an original DNA that's heavily copied at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Such a lovely scent, though.
Really is. And that's Dolce & Gabbana, Light Blue. The original.
The next one on the list is one that is a staple in my collection. Like Ross was saying, it's one that I've started with from almost the very beginning. This one is called Bleu de Chanel. It is the EDT concentration.
That's another must-have fragrance.
I absolutely love this one. I am nearing the end of this bottle. So fresh, so clean, so invigorating.
So heavily replicated.
Yes. But this is a very inviting fragrance. So if you are, say you're going to meet a special someone during the summertime, you want to smell fresh and clean. It's an easy grab, one that's going to definitely have you smelling fresh, probably get you some attention. But like Ross said, it is highly duplicated. So, you know, you might be able to find an alternative to it. The price point's not too bad though. Longevity's pretty good on it, 5 to 6. Longevity, 1 to 2 on the projection, but a staple in the fragrance community, a staple for me. I absolutely love this one.
I'm with you on that, because I say heavily replicated because it's so popular. The more popular the fragrance, the more they replicate it.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you've heard me say this many times on this channel, if you want to smell like a particular fragrance, your best bet is to buy the original of that fragrance. And that reigns true with Bleu de Chanel as well.
Again, this one is Bleu de Chanel, the EDT concentration.
Next, I don't know how many of you saw this one coming, because this one gets featured pretty heavily on my channel, especially in my weekly rotations. It's very nostalgic for me. It goes back to my childhood. It's from Nautica. Nautica Classic. As some of you may know, I actually got my hands on a vintage bottle recently. I do have a backup bottle of the Classic that a subscriber sent to me. You know who you are. Thank you, my friend. This stuff, and I never really spray it that heavy. I really don't. Because I spray it out the shower most of the time. I do 4 sprays. I just go all the way around my neck, and sometimes I'll do another shot on my shirt. But very aquatic marine, salty, gives off the whole nautical theme. This is the originator, the first fragrance from the house. I do love the brand Nautica. I mean, that's part of my childhood. I grew up wearing Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica. Right. Whether it was fragrances or clothing, that's what I wore. So, as you know, these are two of my favorite fragrances, the original Nautica and Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. It's so good. And this is one that gets overlooked. Nobody gives the time of day. And online, you can get this for $10.
Yeah.
100 milliliter bottle. Yeah, it doesn't perform that well. About a 3-hour fragrance, really.
Yeah.
Who cares? $10. Grab it. Spray away. You could do a lot worse with $10.
Absolutely.
Than getting your hands on Nautica Classic.
The last one in this list is one that is also a staple in my collection. I don't reach for it all the time, but in the summertime, I do wear it on consistent rotations. This one has been kind of compared to Creed's Green Irish Tweed slightly, even though the notes are not necessarily similar. It's got some similarities.
I would say if Green Irish Tweed had a Marine brother.
Okay, I like that.
That's a good way.
I like that vibe from it. But as he's saying that, you probably already know what we're talking about. This is Davidoff Cool Water.
The original.
This one doesn't get a whole lot of talk, doesn't get a whole lot of love, and I don't know if it's because of the price point, because it's a cheaper fragrance, and sometimes people don't always associate, that you're wearing this.
I think the problem with it is so many people associate it, just like Aqua de Jo, so many people associate it with their dad.
I can see that.
I don't want to smell like my dad.
That makes sense.
Because it's been around for so long.
88.
Yeah. It's a long time. I was born in 85.
Yeah. I was born in 88.
So there you go. So thanks for making me feel old. But even to this day, for as many formulations as this fragrance has been through, every time I wear it, because long periods go between the times I wear it, because I have so many, I forget how well it performs. That's a 6 to 7 hour fragrance easily. And it's been around so long.
And for the price. I mean, you can't. This is a
20 bucks will get you a 4.2 ounce.
Yeah, this is a 6.7. I lucked out with this one. $20 at TJ Maxx. 6.7.
That's a steal.
I mean, and it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna last 6 to 7 hours. I mean, yeah, it's a little mature or a little.
I really don't find it's mature. It's just it's been around so long. People look at it as dated.
Yeah, maybe that dated is the word I want to use.
Dated, I guess.
But solid fragrance though. If you have not checked it out, I would encourage you to get some samples. Get you a smaller bottle of it and check it out. This one is Davidoff Cool Water.
Damn good way to start a collection. So that's our list. First of all, I want to thank Steve for having me.
Thank you so much,
appreciate it, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Always fun when we get together. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of these do you agree with? Which of your favorites were left off? Just because it wasn't in here doesn't mean we don't enjoy them. You know, let us know down in the comments. And before you go, one more time, be sure to check out Steve's channel. It is linked in the description below. If you like what you see, you know how it goes. Give him a subscribe. And until next time, I will say, and I believe he'll go with me on this one as well, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances we discussed here today, give them a spray now. Pretty good chance you'll thank us later. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.